This video is intended to be an in-depth description of an Excalibur class blade named Destiny. Rather large and intricate. And I will start with the basic blade banding. There's a lot of material covered in this video, so I advise perhaps snacks and beverages to pass the time, as this is going over for anybody that does actually end up viewing this video. Okay, starting right here, the main capacitor band, this of course is the main engine, which is quite vast and has a lot under the hood. This consists of smoky quartz and hematite in a sequential ignition sequence going like so into the hand bands that are concealed by the leather on the silver and brass polarity of the same exact initial sequence of hematite and smoky quartz, running the current like so to this first lateral band over here of smoky quartz and hematite, once again, coursing back over here for the entire hand band to be the transmutation grounding sequence underneath the leather. The main blade band consists of kunzite, a lovely lithium-based pink gray stone with rutilated quartz. Rutilated quartz is actually titanium in quartz, which actually works as a supercharged capacitor. So by running the sequence of kunzite, rutilated quartz, and then scoicite runs the circuit much more intensely as it runs the current, subcapacitating the energy throughout the entire blade band. Scoicite is a lovely white ray-based stone with extreme peace and 6th and 7th activation of the crown chakras. Very much the divine experience emanation, particularly in a vibratory current when it's running a sequence. Okay, we're going to start with the main engine. This right here is apophyllite. This down here is Nirvana quartz. This right here is healer's gold. This is charite, golden labradorite, purpite, Shiva lingam, turquoise, argonite star cluster, petalite, pneumite, clear calcite, and very special, actually this is a vial of yellow zincite. A very, very powerful, rare fire elemental stone that is quite intense for blasting through the lower 3 chakras and running the entire circuit through the meridian system at a very high rate. Very powerful stuff, and I got this from a friend recently while I was discussing this project, so the fact that I was able to acquire a zincite for this guy was pretty miraculous. And over here, this right here is a rose quartz point to be the sub-engine to the main engine being a clear tourmalated quartz point, which actually has bolts of black tourmaline going through the structure, which makes a lovely intensification for the clear quartz of the black tourmaline to make a purification ratio as the main engine. And this right here is a bolt of selenite with black kyanite to ground the excess energy rapidly through the Earth Star Meridian matrix of your Earth, of like your bottom of your feet. And right here is a special stone called Holly Blue Agate, which is a very stabilizing wind elemental stone, which is very rare in the Mineral Kingdom. So I'm going to flip over the engine now. Okay. So down here is petersite, which is also known as the Tempest Stone, very intensive, kind of more aggressive cousin to tiger's eye. This right here is fulgurite, petrified lightning. This is ruby and kyanite, which is a lovely synergistic combination of ruby and blue kyanite, malachite, blue lace agate, mahogany obsidian, larimar, black obsidian, sourced here locally from the mountain, serpentine, sourced locally from Mount Shasta as well, and another synergistic combination of ruby and zoisite. This right here is red jasper. This is purple and green fluorite. This down here is fire agate. This down here is moss green agate. This right here is noble elite shungite. This over here is seraphinite, directly terminated to the selenite down here, so the seraphinite frequency energy runs the circuit much cleaner, like so, through into the circulated into the capacitor band. And that basically, I think, actually just about covers the main engine of this device. Okay. So right here is smoky celestial quartz, which is a very important component for such a high frequency yielding device, because it works as an autoregulator that tunes into your higher self matrix and basically governs the amount of energy running through the system when it's engaged, like so, with the thumb engagement up here, which I'll get to eventually. So it's a very, very important way to get the most out of this platform, of this vibratory tool, is having the autoregulator of celestial quartz, like so, to regulate the frequency of someone engaging the current to maximize the exact frequency pitch required for the vibratory needs in any given moment, based on the governance of your higher self's regulation of the best amount of energy for your energy field. Very, very important for a high yield frequency blade such as this. And this right here is tiger's eye, clear faceted quartz, and tanzanite. The idea of having this power pack lateral band catching the centrifugal charge of the celestial quartz is to diffuse the current of the higher self-regulation through the tiger's eye filter, which is very stabilizing to the root, the sacrum, and the solar plexus, then switching over to tanzanite, which is the most effective linker of the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, even 9th chakras, in my opinion. So it gives a very nice, even diffusion of the governance of the higher self through the filters of the main chakric centers. So next we'll be talking about the lateral bands, which actually match over here in perfect ignition sequence, yet this side's on silver, this side's on brass for the receptive, projective ignition sequence of both frequency outputs that are lateral bands. As the current runs through, diffuses laterally for the full balance of the elemental spectrums. So for this variant, I will start off with an exotic lateral band not traditionally used, but it was very relevant for this construct. This right here is a lateral band of 3rd and 4th potentiality of the chakra column. So of course we have peridot, a lovely stone of extreme positivity and increase in abundance and good vibes in general, rutilated quartz, and prehnite. In my opinion, the premier stone of an analog frequency tap to Raphael the Archangel. So having that 3rd and 4th activation on this lateral band is very helpful to keep the heart and the will aligned under the impact of such a dramatic vibratory tool. And right here is the first proper elemental band of the earth band, which consists of red garnet, red jasper, and ruby. Very much an effective combination for engineering the earth frequency broadband through the mineral kingdom. Next is fire, which consists of carnelian, tiger's eye, and sunstone. Next is water, which consists of emerald, amazonite, and blue lace agate. Then on to wind, which consists of lapis lazuli, blue sapphire, and amethyst. So the idea, of course, is having these lateral bands diffuse the current as it courses through the main apparatus, is that all the elemental spectrums are represented and stabilized in balanced format for the full draw of the energetic context of the elements. So same thing as I mentioned over here, yet this is on silver for the receptive aspect of the exact same vibratory ignition sequence. And I will start with this power pack on the other side of the proper thumb engagement, which is so. Down here, get the focus correct, this is nickel iron meteorite, which of course is essential to any kind of Excalibur class blade. Hence, according to legend, the iron component utilized in the ancient blade of Excalibur was nickel iron, due to its celestial properties while being in the iron family. Fe, very grounding. So, then wire wrapped to that is sardaphanite, which is a very rare version of a tektite that actually is transparent when opposed to light. You can't quite see it that well. Perhaps it can be seen by the viewer's eye when they actually take a look at it. And speaking of tektites, I forgot to mention, buried underneath all of this down here is a large black tektite bolt that is in the exact opposite side of this main tourmalated quartz engine, concealed by other stones stacked on top of it, of going from here to here is a large black tektite. Hopefully I did not forget anything else of relevancy in this matrix over here. Anyway, moving on. Back to this power pack. So having that nickel iron meteorite and sardophenite is also wrapped around a power pack of Orlite 23 with rutilated quartz subcapacitating the current, which is a very, very special rare variant of amethyst, also known as Canadian amethyst or Thunder Bay amethyst, that comes from the Cave of Wonders near the US-Canada border by Montana, I believe. And it's a very special stone because it has 23 different elements in an amethyst structure. That's why the variation from the purple to the reds is very extensive. Okay. And this right here actually is amber. Try to get a view. Perhaps it could be seen under light exposure. Kind of can see that the fact that this is amber right here, a lovely transmutation, purification, solar nature stone. Okay. So we're going to move on to the main blade band of this thumb engagement. Gotta get the focus correct, because it's quite intricate to explain what's going on here, so the focus is definitely paramount to be in proper balance. Okay. So underneath this power pack is Libyan gold tektite is the base, a very special variety of what I fondly refer to as goldavite, kind of like a golden moldavite that's relatively not as known yet. Okay. And this right here is morganite, which is the pink emerald of the mineral kingdom. It's a beryl family, just like aquamarine right here, and emerald right here, which is faceted emerald. So the main power pack around the main thumb engagement is emerald, aquamarine, and bluish-white hemimorphite. A very, very special stone also. Not as well known, but very, very effective for light body engineering activation. Back to the thumb engagement. Right here is a lovely piece of purple sugilite. Very rare stone these days, but very effective for that violet flame emanation. This right here is quite a lovely little piece. This is a Herkimer diamond bead that actually has proper white diamonds with faceted quartz running a circuit around that frequency right here. So the Herkimer diamond's accelerating the diamond frequency. Of course, diamond being the king of the gemstones. 10 out of 10 hardness, carbon-based ray, very powerful stone of ancient antiquity for royalty. So obviously, a blade of this scope and scale requires everything that's exotic and high-frequency potency in one closed-loop circuit apparatus. Moving on, that's turquoise, where the diamond is resting on top of the turquoise right here into this main power pack. And I did forget something, actually. This right here is petalite, a lovely clear ray lithium-based stone. Better late than never. The fact that I remembered that right now to mention this is very important. Okay, back to what we were up to. Get the focus correct again. It's being temperamental. There you go. So this, of course, this green ray stone from the stars requires no introduction, I believe, for anybody watching this that has any concept of Mineral Kingdom laboratory outputs. This is moldavite, a very, very, very famous now, or infamous stone of the green ray, or the emerald that fell from the sky from Grail legend. So, taking that cosmic kick in the pants right here, having this primary wire but actually having its own sub-power pack running into this main primary right here, there is a power pack of tanzanite, clear faceted quartz, and blue sapphire running a circuit like so. So it's an independent figure-8 power pack for thumb engagement, but it's quite flush, so it can be definitely engaged simultaneously with the other power pack like so. Making a figure-8 circuit, it's running this excess wire into this main power pack as well, so it's one continuity of a figure-8 for thumb engagement. So of course, blue sapphire should not need much introduction as well. It's a very powerful stone of the blue ray from, kings and queens of metaphysical use from antiquity. And this right here is once again tanzanite, a very effective heart-mind linker, probably, in my opinion, the most important stone in the mineral kingdom for linking the heart-mind coherence. So that's the thumb engagement. Okay. I will start off with the main blade facing, which mimics both sides, like so. This right here is a lepidoite moon, a lovely soothing lithium-based stone of great, tremendous soothing potential, I guess you could put it. And followed up next to this is Rainbow Moonstone. Then following that is Sunstone. And can't quite see in this video, but this is a rare variety of labradorite more recently put on market is purple labradorite, which you can't quite tell from this light refraction. Kind of, a little bit. Anyhow, the idea, of course, of the moonstone, sunstone, and labradorite is the feminine, masculine, and the shadow polarity in unity, making the grail frequency of a individual host when engaging this frequency. Moving on right here is Super 7. Another variety of amethyst actually has 7 different minerals in the amethyst structure. Very special high vibratory stuff. It's very fun. This is a specialty power pack, referred to as a landing power pack, with petrified wood, red jasper, and tourmalated quartz running a sequence like so. And this is the brass variety. The other side actually has silver for the receptive variety, but they are, of course, exactly balanced and aligned on both sides of the blade face. The big idea of this, of course, is basically running the circuit of extremely stabilized earth frequency is very useful for such a high frequency broadcast. So the tangibility of the use of such an extensive tool, of course, lands in 3D more effective for vibratory shift change for proper use here on the earth plane where it matters the most, why this whole thing exists. So, petrified wood, of course, is a very powerful earth channel point, like vibratory broadcast. Then stabilizing that further with the red jasper stabilizes the root and the sacrum. Also, effectively running tourmalated quartz with black tourmaline in the quartz will actually make a very powerful grounding purification of this earth frequency power pack. Running straight into a lovely piece of black obsidian carved like an arrowhead, quite aesthetically pleasing, with fulgurite, once again, petrified lightning. And over here is just a bolt of clear, normal-looking selenite. This right here, of course, actually is a very special stone I'll get into in a moment. And at the very tip of the spear of this device is a specimen of healer's gold discovered in Arkansas, which has been utilized more recently as a very powerful gold white ray central sun emanation energy field. So the tip of the spear, of course, is having like that source energy right here. As the front of the blade band runs over it, the centrifugal charge of this emanation will catch in this blade band, recirculate through the entire vibratory construct, like so. And I'll get into the intrapolite very last, because this is a very special version of selenite that I will get onto probably last but not least, because its explanation requires a little more description. So starting right here, we have the 4 spectrum of kyanites available to me. Black kyanite, orange kyanite. This is a lovely piece of scoisite, once again the same stone utilized in the proper main blade band. This is green kyanite and blue kyanite. The idea of utilizing the 4 spectrums of kyanite easily available is to actually make the energy transfers very rapid through the person wielding it, as well as the person serving, making successful broadcasts like so to the trees, for example, to make the rigid continuity of the successive energy, as well as that's actually a whole long story to talk about. Anyway, I'm gonna get back on focus. This right here is a lovely Lumerian quartz as the main blade band vocalizers. So of course, as the energy runs through the circuit like so, these are wired on top and grounded into the primary wire like so so that all the excess energy is captured, contained, and focalized downrange for a successful broadcast. Once again, Lemurian quartz, lovely clear specimen. Titanium aura quartz, which has actually titanium pressure coated onto this quartz structure to give it a very powerful, intensive jolt through the whole entire rainbow light body. Tibetan black quartz, a lovely stone from Tibet that is very purifying to the entire energy field, and one of my top 10 favorites because it just has such a nice emanation of purification. It's kind of like a psychic window wash that rapidly expands the Earth star and the Soul star simultaneously. It makes a very powerful, like rapid grounding expansion as well as a higher chakra activation, a very balanced, purified spiritual way. This right here, I believe these are actually golden Himalayan azeztolites, which I've had quite a few of my day, and it has the exact same emanation it reminds me of. But what's special about that too is it actually has, coincidentally, the Buddha wrapped on top of them. So that is quite lovely. So it makes a lovely emanation as the energy runs through these focalizer bands to the main, at the very end here, yellow ray broadcast with everything else going on here. And I believe that actually, besides the intrapolite, describes the entire aspect of this blade. So right here is very special. First light blade to ever be crafted with such a large specimen of intrapolite on both sides. This actually is a stone that it was called intrapolite from the man who discovered it, who acquired it from myself. It comes from a very remote section of the Southwest desert, and apparently it's only found in a maybe 100-yard radius, which is pretty small actually, maybe even smaller than that. I might be exaggerating. But according to intuitive sources, this man discovered the stone well over a decade ago. This video is taking place in 2024, just to give reference. And this right here has been well documented by psychic sleuthing from trusted intuitive guides with some very far out cosmic implications. This apparently is a version, of course, of selenite, much like a gypsum family, which I utilize quite often because selenite's very extensive for harmonizing, purifying, and amplifying an entire circuit as a whole when you run a current through it. So it's been very much a staple. So being armed with a more celestial impact variety of this same kind of selenite that can be shaped into a blade structure format has been quite a boon to my research of R&D. My research and development, that is. And according to the two sources, this may be a tinfoil hat moment for anybody watching, on top of what you've already been seeing. The Arcturians actually landed a craft there on top of this and left a cosmic imprint into this selenite, which gives it a very powerful white ray emanation. That reminds me of all the heavy-duty white ray stones that I, of course, utilize quite often in craft. That produces a very purifying, amplifying, and harmonizing field just like proper selenite, yet it has its own independent white ray intense cosmic output that is now being utilized in a circuit, running it in a centrifugal current with everything else in the mineral kingdom that has been included in this entire device. So it's pretty awe-inspiring for, like, obviously a person obsessed with crystals and utilization for the greater higher good. And yeah, that's intrapolite. He named it intrapolite because he is convinced that it entraps the light so effectively of creation that he wanted to honor it by name. And that's kind of the story of intrapolite. And this right here, of course, is the main core is oak, which is a long stick of oak going all the way here, and the subcore is oak as well because it's a very strong, dense atomical wood and the wood kingdom to utilize as the base platform core for all this excess energy to be a stone, basically for all the stones to be a very strengthening frequency to contain all this energy, because this thing is pretty high vibration, high packing, and quite potent, to say the lately. And of course, the main primary wire, like so, is consisting of brass, silver, and copper to spool all together so that all the other frequencies you see here are grounded to one central primary wire to further contain the field and recirculate the current from the broadcast of this device. Anyhow, I hope this helps, and I hope this has been quite illuminating for anybody that watches, particularly the recipient of who is going to get this blade, who commissioned me. And yeah, have a blessed day.